All right, all right, all right. So let me take this out. Hey guys, welcome back. It is Bernardo from the BTNHD. It is the TSR. TSR stands for the server room. I know I did not advertise this live stream, but I felt like doing a live stream. And the topic that I'm going to be dealing with, I wanted to do like an offline kind of thing, but I said to myself, damn, it's too many slides. And then I know I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and I didn't even feel like editing. So I said to myself, let's do a live stream. Okay. So if you saw, the title of the live stream is basically super simple. It's building a Windows 10 1809 reference image with MDT. Now the MDT that I kind of did the reference image is with 8456. If you look at the description, this this topic actually came from deployment research. I kind of mimic basically everything from his article. He did use 8450. I use 8456 because, you know, it's what Microsoft pushed out, and it worked out with no problem. So I wanted to show you guys how everything looks step by step, picture by picture, and just to show you guys how you are able to configure it within your environment. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to switch over to this guy right here, and let's get started. So again, like I said a couple of seconds ago, we're building a Windows 10 1809 reference image with MDT 8456. Now, this is not the way I like pushing out my Windows 10 if I was using MDT. I hate reference images. I hate capture images. It's just a pain in the butt. But a lot of you guys love to capture your images, have that golden image, and then push it out. Because that golden image has everything. It has your applications, have your drivers, it has everything, your settings, your shortcuts, your branding for your company. For me, I just don't like that stuff. Okay. Right. So first things first, I'm going to right click on the start menu. I'm going to click on run, and I'm going to do a win VER because I want to show you guys that the operating system that I built my MDT is on a Windows Server 2016. In the future, I'm planning to upgrade my server 2016 MDT server to 2019 just to keep it, you know, up to date. But this is the operating system that I am testing all this stuff out, okay? Even though it doesn't really matter what operating system you have, but just for the hell of it, 2016 is what I have my MDT 8456 on, okay? So if you look into the deployment research article, the guy gives you, I don't want to kill the guy's name, so I won't disrespect them like that, but I'm going to reference it as the deployment research. I think it's Johan, right? So Johan provides all these files for you. The only thing that you actually have to do is basically get all the Microsoft Visual C++, and he doesn't give you the links. So you got to do a little bit of searching within the Microsoft site and grab all that stuff and download it. Now, I'm going to be super nice, and I'm going to give you that stuff. I'm going to package it all up. So what do I mean? So I'm going to minimize this PowerPoint real quick. And this is the folder right here. Now, within the folder, you have sources. Now, Johan actually gives you a link that takes you to the Microsoft site, and you have to look up for the Visual C++ for 2010, 2012. You have to search it, click on the link, download each one. Now, I'm going to be super nice to you guys. I'm going to compress this entire folder with everything that you need to get yourself up and running with the reference image, okay? So rather than killing yourself doing the searches for the 64-bit and 86-bit and all that stuff, I already have it all here for you. 2010, 2012, 2013, 2017. And inside the main root of install Microsoft Visual C++, you have the Windows script file. Now, this Windows script file, if I right-click on it and I go to Edit Notepad, if you actually look at the coding, and again, I got all this information from deploymentresearch.com, from Johan. The majority of the stuff that we do as IT people, we Google it, and we look at people's articles, and we try it out. And if it doesn't work out for us, we tweak it. But all this stuff right here, I tested out with 8456. Again, Johan actually did his article with 8450. I did it with 8456, and it worked with no problem. Now, the script itself, what it does, it looks for sources, Inside sources, it looks for the subdirectories of VC 2010, 2013, 2012, and so on. And it kind of installs 86 and 64-bit. Okay, so a nice little script. I think it's considered like a install wrapper. All right, so like I said before, I'm going to give you all this stuff, so don't worry about it. And I'm also going to give you the PowerPoint for today's live stream. So how easy is that, right? All right, so I'm going to close this up. Let's go back here. So I'm also going to show you guys that within my control panel, I have the latest and greatest MDT, not MDT, ADK, and also MDT. Now, the MDT that I have here is 8450, but I did upgrade this server. Okay, this is the same server that I did a video with you guys of how to upgrade it 8450 to 8456. So that's pretty cool. So this machine is already up to date 8456, but I test everything out and it's working. So this is actually an old screenshot. All right, so you're gonna open up your deployment workbench, and the first thing we need to do is get inside the operating system. Hopefully you guys understand how to import an operating system. If you do not know how to import an operating system, go inside my channel. I have a crap load of videos showing you how to do the basics, how to get you up and running with MDT, how to import an operating system. Okay, I love creating folders. You don't need to create folders. I'm a huge folder fan. I love creating folders for some reason. I don't know why, but for those that have been with me since the very beginnings, first time I pushed out an MDT video, I love creating folders. I'm a maniac with that stuff. So I already have a folder called Windows 10 1809. And within here, I have already imported all my Windows 10 1809 stuff in it. Okay, so hopefully you guys understand that. So what we need to do is we need to create an application package, an app package. Now the app package, we need to import this within our MDT server. So what we need to do is within our application node right here, we're going to right click on it. Now I'm going to right click on it. The majority of you guys would normally do new app. You know what I'm going to show you guys, right? What I'm going to do, new folder. Yes, because I love creating folders. That is my thing. I don't care. It's just the way I like to organize myself within MDT and also within SCCM. I just love creating folders because it keeps it nice and neat. It keeps everything together. When I open up the console, I already automatically know where my stuff is at. So the folder that I'm going to create is called Microsoft Visual C++. And from here, you are going to just click on next again, and finish. Done. So our folder is there. Done. Now we need to import that entire container with all those VC 2017, 2019, 2013, and so on folders. Plus, inside that folder also has the Windows script file. So what we're going to do is with the new folder, we're going to right click on it. We're going to right click on it and create a new folder. You're going to get the nice little new application. Actually, not a new folder. Sorry, guys. A new application. You're going to get the wizard for the new app. And by default, you're going to have the application with source files. You can click on next on that. And the only thing that you really need is an app name. So the app name, I'm going to provide it as this. This is the same way that Johan actually provided his naming within his article, but you don't really need to call it this. You could give it whatever you want because the secret sauce is actually inside the command details because you need to give it the specific command to call that script. The script actually goes inside the subfolders to install. This right here is up to you. Click on next. Source directory, you're going to browse it, and you're not going to pick source. You're going to pick the entire folder, this entire folder which has the source, and inside this folder, you also have the Windows script file. Okay, very important. Pick this, not this. Pick this, press OK, and voila. Click next. Destination, we're going to leave it as the default, and this is where the secret sauce, this is where you need to call out that Windows script file. Now, again, the Windows script file is actually inside the root folder that you imported inside your MDT. So it's this guy right here, okay? And the command line that you're going to do is cscript. You can either do cscript.exe or cscript, the name of the Windows script file. And I don't know, you guys could probably correct me if I'm wrong or right, but I believe you can actually call the script file just by the name, or you might have to put period and the file extension, which is WSF. Okay, I feel like you do need to have the .WSF at the end of the name of the file right here, but I could probably be wrong. But again, it still worked out for me. Next thing, you're gonna hit next. Nice little summary. Next again, progress, completed, you're done. And then you're going to see your new app, which is right here. Done. Okay. Next thing that we need to do is, again, Johan, within his deployment research article, within Johan's article, he provided another script. Now, this script, if you take a closer look on the Windows script, what it does, it disables Windows updates, because when you're pushing out the operating system within MDT or SCCM, you know WSUS or Windows updates and Windows Store apps are being pushed out when the operating system is being installed. You don't want that junk happening during the time that you're installing. You want the stuff to be seamless. Whatever packages, whatever features you're installing within your reference image, you want to push it out, stop it, capture it, and you're done. So this, I believe the script, what it does, it disables Windows updates during the moment that you are pushing out your reference, when you're capturing your reference image. I think that's what it does. Okay, I might be wrong, but for those that are looking into the script, if I'm wrong, hey, correct me. I would love to learn something new. Okay, so I'm going to create another folder. So I'm going to right click on the app node, new folder, and on the new folder, I'm going to give it the clean WSUS config. I'm going to click next, and we're done. Created a folder. Okay, creating the folder, I'm going to go really fast because it's just creating a folder. It's the same thing, just different name. And the new folder we're going to do is right click on it, and we're going to pick new application. We're going to do, we're going to get the new application wizard. And by default, we want the application with source file. So we can click on next on that. And again, you don't really need to give a special name. You could give it whatever you want. But within the article, he gave it action-clean WSUS config. It kind of makes sense, right? You want the name to be, you know, when another person comes in and looks at your MDT server, it automatically knows what the application is, rather than you doing clean WSUS or, you know, or sus or WSUS script. What the hell is WSUS script? What does it do, right? Once you provide a name, click next, and the source directory, you're going to browse, and we're actually going to click on the folder. Now, the file that I'm going to give you is a zip file, so most likely you need to unzip it. And once you unzip it, you pick the file, you pick the folder, okay? And click OK. Bam, next, destination. You're going to leave it as is. Command line, this is where the secret sauce happens. And you can basically do a C script. You can either do C script or C script.exe. And on this example, I actually did the .wsf. Okay. Click next, and you're done. Pretty simple. And there goes our second package. So right now we just created two packages. One package is for our Visual C++ that pushes out, I believe, 4 or 5 Visual C++ applications within your reference image. I believe it's VC 2005. Let me check real quick for you guys, because what happened? And what just happened? I think I just closed it. Haha. There it goes. All right, cool. Within here, so I'm going to zoom in for you guys. There you go. Yep, it's pushing out 2010, 2012. It's pushing out 2013, 2017. So it's actually pushing out 4 Visual C++ versions. But inside the folder, you got 86-bit and a 64-bit. Okay. Let's go back here. Okay, so we got our 2 packages. And next thing we need to do is create a task sequence. So within the task sequence node, you're going to expand it. Again, if you know me, you know what I'm going to do automatically. And that's right click on it and create a what? New folder. Yes, so the folder I'm going to give it is reference images. You don't really need to call it this. You could call it whatever you want. You could call it corporate images or custom images, whatever fits your environment. For me, I gave it reference images. Okay. Click on next, next, and finish. Done. So within my new folder, I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to create a new task sequence. So the task sequence ID and the task sequence name, it's not really best practice. I can't really tell you guys, okay, this is what you need to do for this to work. Task sequence ID has to be blah, 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 blah. Task sequence name needs to be blah, 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 blah. No, this is really up to you. This is how you know, I can't really tell you what to do in your environment. If you have like specific sequences or a certain name scheme that you have within your environment, go for it. For me, I like to give it as ref win10v1809 because that's basically what this task sequence is going to be. It's a reference Windows 10 v1809. It's capturing it, right? It's what it's doing. It's pushing out the operating system. Once it pushes out the operating system, it installs everything that it needs. It shuts down. It starts the SIP prep, shuts down, restarts the deployment, and starts capturing it and pushing it out inside your capture node or your captured folder within your deployment share. Okay. So once you give it a task sequence ID, a task sequence name, click on next. Now for the selected template, leave it as a standard client task. Okay, because again, the process that you are doing right now is you're deploying your operating system. Once you deploy your operating system, it pushes out whatever you want. Okay, this is a really straightforward reference image, but you could take it to the point that you are able to push out apps, push out specific drivers, push out shortcuts, and all that stuff. You could customize it within the task sequence. Okay, but today we're just pushing out a super easy Windows 10 1809. Pushing out the Visual C++, pushing out .NET Framework, and capturing it. That's it. So for this part, we're going to do a standard client task sequence. So I'll leave it as the default. Click on next. The operating system, because I created a folder, I'm going to expand my folder where my operating system is located, and I'm going to pick my flavor. Now, Windows 10 1809 comes with a crap load of stuff, so pick the one that fits in your environment. For me, for my testing environment, I pick Windows 10 Enterprise and then Windows 10 Education 64-bit. Okay, click next. I'm not going to specify a product key because this is not a production environment, but if this was a production environment, I still do not provide a product key. So you're probably saying to yourself, okay, if you're not going to provide a product key within a production environments, what the hell are you going to do, Bernard? How are your machines going to get authorized or licensed? Well, I have a KMS, I think that's KMS server, which once the machine is part of the network, it automatically gets a license. I think that's what it's called, KMS. And I think I did a video for you guys a while back how to do that stuff. Okay, so from here, next, operating settings, you provide whatever information that you want. Click next. Admin, provided admin, make sure you confirm it. Now, this admin password is for the local admin. This is not your domain admin account. Okay, this is for a local admin account within your Windows 10 environment. Make sure you write it down. Make sure you memorize it. Make sure you share it to your team. Okay. Next, nice little summary. Next, and you're done. Okay. Done. And there goes our task sequence. So next thing we need to do a lot of configuration on the task sequence for our two apps that we created, and also a bunch of other things that we have inside that little folder, which we have a script to disable the Windows Store apps and to enable it. And also we need to install .NET Framework 3.5 within Windows 10. I learned the hard way on that because, excuse me, guys, I'm gonna get some water. Yeah, I learned the hard way with Windows 10 and .NET Framework. In my 9-to-5 job, we had, especially like the finance department, they have a special software that needs .NET Framework. And I gave them the new machine. New machine came in. I deployed it with Windows 10. Boom, boom, boom. Super excited. And when it got to the time that I needed to install the program was installing .NET Framework, but it for some reason it didn't take. So I said, okay. So the only way that you could push out .NET Framework is, one, you have to kind of embed it inside the image, right? Or like I did, what I learned the hard way was within the task sequence, you are able to add roles and features within your Windows 10 and just add it. Add the .NET Framework and it will install it for you automatically. So that's like one less thing that you have to deal with. So you're going to right click on your task sequence. We're going to go to properties, and within properties, we're going to click on the task sequence tab. And there's a crap load of things that we need to do. Okay. So first things first, what we need to do is right inside the post install folder, in between config and injet drivers, we need to create a new run command line. So if you don't know how to create a new run command line, if you click on the add, I think the first option, I forgot what the first option is, but just look inside the menu and look for run command line. Now for run command line, the first thing that we need to do is call out our disable Windows Store updates. Again, Johan provided that information within his article, and I'm going to give you all that stuff, so do not worry. So the command line, or the files, these two files, which I will provide for you guys, don't worry about it. We need to drop these two files to disable and enable the Windows Store updates inside your deployment and script folder. So just drop those two files in there. Then within your task sequence, we need to call out the command line of cscript.exe, and you're going to do a variable of script root with % at the end, and it's going to be a backslash, and we're going to call that WSF file, which is config disable Windows Store updates. Okay, so this automatically disables the Windows Store updates on your machine. Okay, later on we have to call the enable part, because that's the way that the article does it. And the next thing we need to do is within install, actually within state restore, you want to create a new group. Okay, so again, you click on add and new group, and within the new group, we want to see. No new group. Sorry. So from here, what you want to do is we're going to create a new group, right, in between the tattoo and the opt-in. Call it. You're going to give it a custom task pre-Windows updates. So it's basically easy. You're going to click on add, and on the menu, you're going to do a new group. The next thing that we need to do is within here on the Windows updates, you're going to go to options, and we are going to disable it. Okay, so disable Windows updates. Okay, so all you're going to do is just select this, go to options, and disable that step. Okay, good. So wait a minute, I'm getting confused. It's been a while. All right, so yeah. All right. Yeah, so we create a new group in between tattoo and opt-in, and from both windows for the pre-app and also the post-app, it looks like we need to enable both of these. Okay, we're enabling both of them because it looks like in the article you are pushing out Windows updates to have your reference image fully patched up. This is the reason why I hate reference images. And the way I normally push out my Windows updates on my images when I push out the image through SCCM or MDT is I have my WSUS push out the Windows updates once the machine is already deployed. Here, when you're doing a reference image, you are actually having MDT push out the Windows updates for you. So from this, by default, the task sequence, Windows updates is turned off. It's disabled. So it looks like in the article, they want you to enable it. So you're enabling the pre and the post. So now I kind of understand what that WSUS config cleanup does. It does not disable Windows updates. What it does clean up for your Windows updates. So the cleanup would be when it's pulling down Windows updates inside the folder, the Windows, what is it? Windows, that Windows folder, that temp folder for all your Windows updates. I'm assuming that script file cleans that up for you. I think. Okay. So we're enabling both the Windows pre and post. And the next thing we need to do from here, right, is it looks like within this group, because this group was called custom tasks, and he renamed it as post Windows updates. And within this group, we clicked on add roles, and we're going to do install roles and features. Now, within the install roles and features, we're going to pick the .NET framework. That's what we picked. And again, inside that folder, we're going to go to add, new, and we're going to do a new app. We're going to install a new app. Now, the app that we're going to select, we're going to select install a single application and click on browse. And the one that we're going to pick is the Microsoft Visual C++. Okay, select it, press OK, and you're good to go. Now, for this example, the reason that you need Microsoft.NET Framework installed first is because the Visual C++ needs this. You need this first before this gets installed correctly. Okay, so that's the reason why you're pushing this out. All right, great. So next thing we need to do is, where are you? So right here where it says apply local GPO, you're going to select it. We're going to create a new group right underneath it. And the new group, we're going to give it the name of custom task cleanup. Now this is where we're going to call that WSUS script to clean up, because it's basically cleaning up the pre and the post stuff that was pushed out to your reference image. I really hate reference images. It gets so complicated. So from here, select your folder, click on add, general, and we're going to do install application. And we're going to do a single app. Select that, browse, and we're going to pick our clean WSUS config app that we created and click OK. And the next thing we need to do is expand imaging. And within your captured image folder, expand that. And what you need to do is select gather local only. We're going to go to add general, and we're doing a run command. Okay, so add general run command. It's going to be in between gather local only, and then it's going to be between gather local only and create Wim. So the run command is going to be enable Windows Store updates. Again, we disable it up here, and now we need to enable it. Yes, we have to enable it. And again, it's going to be inside the deployment share script. So you should have dropped these two scripts already inside your script folder. And it's going to be, the command line for that would be cscript.exe with a variable of script folder with %signs /config-enable Windows Store updates.wsf. Okay, quotations are on it. And you're done. So basically, once you do this last step, you apply, you're okay, and next thing you need to do is update your deployment share. So you're going to right click on your deployment share and do update deployment share. And actually, sorry, I went blank. Next thing we need to do is create our customize our custom settings.ini file, and also our bootstrap.ini file. So we're going to right click on your node, your primary MDT node, and go to properties. And you want to go to rules. Now, the first thing we need to do is edit our bootstrap.ini. By default, this is what you get. This doesn't look like yours, but it's somewhat similar, okay? Following information is what I provided within my bootstrap is user domain, user ID, user password, and if you want, you can skip the BBD welcome, okay? Now, we also need to customize this. I mean, there's a lot of variables that you are able to enter for the rules. I have a nice little cheat sheet right here. This is the stuff that I use for this particular PowerPoint and the stuff that I tested out. So you could actually use it. It's up to you. It's really up to you. But it gives you a breakdown of everything of what I am going to show you guys. So I just copied and pasted inside my custom settings.ini file. and then you're going to apply OK. And now you're able to right click on your node and then update the deployment share. And you're going to get the update deployment share wizard. And we're going to click on next, and finish. Now, I can tell you guys right now, I made a mistake because, for one, I should have done a completely regenerated my boot images within my environment. The reason why I say that is because when I made a couple of changes within my bootstrap.ini and my custom settings.ini file, some of the settings did not hit. I'm going to show you guys, and the reason why I know, because the skip the welcome stuff didn't skip. And when I went back inside my server, I regenerated my boot image and it worked. So I just want to keep you guys in the loop. Okay, sometimes you might have to do a complete regenerate the boot images for it to kind of like the settings to hit hard within your deployment share, because sometimes just updating the deployment share doesn't fully always work. That's what I noticed. Okay, I don't know if it's an 8456 problem, but again, hey, hopefully Microsoft will figure that out and fix that problem. So now, because I love testing everything out within VM Workstation, so within my VM Workstation, I'm going to test out my deployment. So within my host, I have a partition core F drive. I call it fast VMs because there's a solid state drive partition. And within there, I created a folder called V as in Victor ref image. I copied the path, and I went inside my VM Workstation, and I clicked on File, New Virtual Machine. I'm going to go really quick on this part. So I clicked on Next. I'm going to install the operating system later. Next. Operating system is going to be on Microsoft Windows, and for the operating system type is going to be Windows 10 x64. For the virtual name, I gave it as vref image and the location of the F drive. Click Next. I left it as the default as 60 gigs. I don't need that much. Again, it's just a testing machine just to make sure that the deployment is working. Again, it's not really a fully deployment. Well, let me stop lying to you guys. It is a deployment, but once the deployment is done, it's going to restart itself and then start capturing it, then shut down the machine. Click Next on this, finish, and we're done. Now I'm going to click on the Power Virtual Machine, and I'm going to get that nice little VM Workstation. It's going to start Pixie booting. I love Pixie booting. And then I'm going to get this. This is great because the 192.168.47.100 is actually my server. Wait. 47.246 is my MDT server IP address, I think. Yeah. So regardless, the server name vmdt.btnhd.edu. It looks like the Pixie is working. My WDS is talking to the network, which is great. Hit enter. It's going to start loading up. It is 47.246. That is the IP address of my MDT/WDS server. Once it starts loading up, it's going to pick that light touch PE x64.wim. You're probably saying to yourself, what the hell is this, Bernardo? Look again. I got a lot of videos on the channel showing you guys how to configure MDT and WDS. I go over that stuff step by step for you guys. Go check out those videos. I'm not going to go over it during this time because what I'm doing is kind of following Johan's article of how to build a Windows 10 1804 reference image within MDT. Now, again, like I said before, he's on his article, he used 8450. I'm using 8456. It's basically the same thing. I haven't had any issues other than the problem with the skip the welcome thing. But once I regenerated my my image within MDT, it worked fine. It worked, fine for me. So once it loads up, like I said, within your custom settings.ini file or within your bootstrap.ini file, I had a skip the welcome screen. So I'll show you guys real quick. Let me escape this real quick. And let's go back here. Again, I will provide all this stuff for you. So when you provide all this information, See, when you provide all this information here, see, I say skip BDD welcome, yes. That should have automatically skipped that little dialog box. That's one less thing that I have to click. Then, another thing I noticed, I'm going to show you guys real quick, that my credentials, I had to log in again. But inside my Bootstrap, I already gave it the credentials. My deployment should have automatically started, and I should have just got the option to pick the task sequence, and that's it. I feel like it was a 8456 issue, but like I said before, the way that I fixed it was I regenerated my boot image rather than doing a basic upgrade or like update your deployment, and it worked with no problem. Okay, so if you're having that issue, just regenerate your boot image within your MDT rather than doing a basic level upgrade on your deployment share. Okay, so let's go back. So for me, I had to put my username, password, domain. Once I put all the information, click OK, and it gave me my task sequence. Now, if everything had worked with no problem, it should have took me here automatically. Now, the task sequence that I'm going to pick is the one that we created together. Not live, but what I showed you guys on the presentation. Windows 10 x64 v1809 reference image is the one that I picked. I clicked on next, and by default, because this was part of the custom settings .ini file, it's automatically set. This is how the captured image is going to look. It's going to drop it inside the captures folder. You are able to drop it somewhere else. I do recommend that the location of where this WIM image is going to be has to be huge, because the file itself for me was about 8, I believe, close to 10 gigs. I believe 10 gigs. If you're pushing out applications, drivers, you're branding your thing, you're going crazy like fonts and print drivers or whatever, that WIM image is going to be huge. So make sure wherever you're dropping that capture image that you have enough space. Got it? Click next here, and we're done. That's it. It's going to start gathering all the information. I'm going to zoom out for you guys. Now, this is the location of where that WIM image is going to be dropped. Now, there's nothing in there. And the reason why there's nothing in there is because right now, the process is only deploying the operating system. So it's going to deploy, get ready. You guys already seen this. You're familiar with this. You've seen this before. It's going to start pushing out. It's going to say, hey, it's going to take several minutes. Eventually, you're going to see this. It's going to go to the desktop. I know I've seen a lot of people extremely not patient, because they're like, okay, the deployment is done, and they want to shut it down. Give it some time, okay? Because if you don't give it some time, you're probably going to prematurely kill the deployment. And I've done that in the past. I'm guilty too. Like, I was super impatient, and I thought the deployment was done, and I shut it down. I gave it back to the user, and all of a sudden, it wasn't joined to the domain. As soon as I couldn't log into the domain because it wasn't part of the domain. And when I logged into the local admin account, the installation progress popped up. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what's going on? So take some time. Make sure this pops up. And once everything passes up, again, because we had the Windows updates pre and post enabled, it is going to start pushing out Windows updates. You want a fully up-to-date reference image. Again, I hate reference images. It's intense with reference images. But once you get it up and running, that golden image is flawless. The only problem is just keeping it up to date is a pain in the butt as well. So it's going to constantly reboot, shut down, do all the craziness. As you guys can see some of the screenshots, it's going to start installing everything, like installing a bunch of updates for 1809. It's going to reboot. You're going to see this constantly, so don't freak out. Your machine will reboot several times. For me, it rebooted maybe, I believe, 5 to 8 times. And then, again, it's processing. It's searching for more updates. Then when it gets to this point, this is a good thing because it already finished the pre and post and is at the section where we're installing the Microsoft.NET. And then once it starts doing that, it's going to start installing all the apps, like, the Visual C++. Once it does that, it goes to the next phase, and it's going to start doing the cleanup for the WSUS config. Okay, so once it runs that, it applies the WinPE. It starts executing the SIP prep. This is a good sign, and then eventually you're going to see this. Now leave it alone. This process takes a while, and eventually what's going to happen is it's going to shut down. Once it shuts down, it's basically going to start the deployment process again, and you're going to see your nice little MDT window, and it's going to start creating the WIM image. Now, if you if you jump back inside your MDT server and you go inside deployment share capture and you refresh, you're going to see your WIM image. Okay, whatever name you gave your WIM image. It's going to be 0 kilobytes, which is okay because it's fresh. Hasn't come out yet and blossom. It's just there. It just created a nice little file. This is a good sign. It basically means that, the process is working. So, like me, I guarantee you a lot of you guys do this. You see the file and you're pressing F5. You're like, F5, fresh, refresh. Oh, let me close it. Let me open up Windows browser again. Let me go inside deployment share. I'm going to go captures, refresh. That's the kind of person I am. I'm constantly clicking refresh until I see that number go up. If I see that number go up, you know what? I'm cheering. I'm flipping around. I'm like putting my middle fingers at the world. I'm like, yes, I got it. Yes, it's working. It's capturing it. Awesome. But yeah, once it captures it and you see the percentage go to 1, and then 1 goes to 4, and then it goes to 4 and 50. That was like, oh, awesome. Sometimes it gets kind of scary because it's like, damn, it's 4%. It's stuck on 4%. And then you come back from lunch, it's on 6%. It's like, what the hell? And then you go to the bathroom, you come back, it's on 70%. We're like, what the hell? Why is it going so fast all of a sudden? Something's going on. Don't freak out. What I've noticed is, depending on the size of your reference image, it will take some time for it to capture. If your reference image is more than 10 gigs, holy crap, that's crazy. It will take some time. Because this is only a straightforward install the operating system, and you're installing Visual C++ stuff, and you are installing .framework. The process to me took between, I don't want to lie to you guys, I would say between 30 to 45 minutes. And the reason why it took that long, and maybe even an hour, is because of the pre and post Windows updates, right? So once it's done, you could constantly refresh like I did, right? And I think the total WIM image was about 3 gigs. 4 gigs, right? 4 gigs is not that bad. That's basically the operating system with the Visual C++ installs, the .NET framework, and that's it. Okay, if you guys are installing like Office 365 or a bunch of print drivers or fonts and all that stuff, this file will get big. So you're probably saying to yourself, what am I going to do that WIM image? Okay, I have the WIM image. What else? What to do? Okay, so what you want to do with the reference image is you want to import that WIM image inside your operating system node. Okay, so within your MDT workbench, right, or your deployment workbench, within your operating system, we're going to expand it. What do you guys think I'm going to do? Heck yeah, I'm going to right click that bad boy, and I'm going to do a what? New folder, because I love new folders. So the new folder is going to be, I'm going to call it reference images. Click on next, and finish. Pretty straightforward. Now inside that reference image folder, I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to import an operating system. Now, we always picking the first option, the default option, which is full set of source files. Now, we're not going to pick that because we're not using a CD or DVD or an ISO to grab Windows operating system files to import within MDT. we're going to pick a custom image file because that's what we just did. We captured a WIM image. We captured an operating system which created a WIM image, which is considered a custom WIM image. Pick that. And we are going to browse, and the browse is going to be where? It's going to be inside your deployment share, and it's going to be inside captures because that's where it dropped it. Now for you, you probably have it somewhere else, and it looks like it wasn't 3 gigs. It finished off with 5 gigs. Holy moly, a 5 gig WIM image. Yeesh, that's crazy. Awesome. So total with the Windows updates, the pre and the post, with the Visual C++ stuff, the .NET framework, a total of close to 5 gigs. Nice. So we're going to select that, open, click next. Setup files are not needed. If you do have a setup file, you could pick it here, but I left it as the default. And destination, left it as the default. Summary, progress, next, and you're done. Okay, the WDS server part kind of skips because we didn't do that. I think that option only shows up. I'm going to go back. I think that option only shows up if you pick this. If you do Windows Deployment Services images. That's the reason when you get to this part, setup, it skips WDS server because we didn't pick that third option. And believe it or not, I've never done that third option before. I might have to do that third option for you guys. I've never played around with that option. I'm thinking right now, I don't think I ever did it. I might have to do that. Crap. All right. So once you import your custom WIM image, the battle's not done. The next thing we need to do is create a task sequence. Now, what do you think I'm going to do? Yep, I'm going to create a new freaking folder because that's what I do. Yeah, so I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to give it custom WIM image. Custom Windows 10 builds. All right. Click next, next, and finish. Now within that folder, I'm going to right click on it and create a new task sequence. Now again, task sequence ID and the name could be whatever you want. It's up to you, but I'm going to give it the following. Zoom in for you guys so you guys can take a better look. Okay. Again, you don't need to follow my sequence ID. You do not need to follow my sequence name. This is just the way I like to do things within my testing. I even do this same naming scheme is the same way I do with my production. It just makes sense to me, right? Click next. The template is going to be a standard client task sequence because we're only pushing out the operating system. Let's click next on that. And from here, we're not going to pick out Windows 10 1809. We're not picking this. We're now going to pick our reference image. So expand that folder if you created the folder and pick your custom reference image. Click on next. You are able to specify a key if you want to license that machine. But for me, I don't like doing that. I normally have like a KMS server within my infrastructure that license all my machines. Click next. Provide a full name, organization, and a web page. Then click next. Admin password. This is really strange because, no, it's not really strange. It's, yeah, because I was about to say, okay, when we captured the image, it had an admin password. But when you sys prep the operating system, it kind of wipes clean that account. So you don't really have an admin password. So provide an admin password, confirm it, make sure you remember it because it's extremely important. It's your local admin account for your Windows 10. It's not your Active Directory. Click next. Nice little summary. Click next and confirm. Okay. And then we have our task sequence done. And from here, right click on your node, update the deployment share. You don't really need to do a completely regenerate the boot images. I think, like I said before, the only time I had to do this is because I don't know if this is a bug with 8456, but some of the custom settings .ini file stuff that I did within that section, like the skip the welcome and also authorizing the deployment shit to automatically go in did not happen. The only way it worked for me if I regenerated the boot image. And then you click on next, and it's going to do its cleanup and update, and you're done. Cool. Well, that's done with the slide though. And yeah, I stop here because it's like the same. It's like the same process. It's like the Twilight Zone, like going again and again. You're basically gonna pixie boot inside your machine, and once you pixie boot your machine, you log in to your deployment. You pick your task sequence, which will be your custom build image, which will push out your custom Windows 10 1809 machine, your image to whatever machine or whatever virtual machine you have, and you're done. That's it. Simple as that. Personally, I do not like reference images at all. I feel like MDT should be used the following. It pushes out the operating system, installs the operating system. If you have a WSUS, well, this is the way I see MDT working for me. This is the way I like using it. It pushes out the operating system, right? It pushes this guy out. Boom. Once it pushes out the operating system, it pushes out all the apps, like my Office and whatever, depending on the machine. If the machine is for finance or marketing, it pushes out the specific applications for that machine. Once it's done, within the task sequence, I have customized stuff like fonts, shortcuts, branding stuff, wallpaper, print drivers. And once that's done, the final thing that the machine needs to do is, the next thing that it needs to do is add itself to the domain. Once it adds itself to the domain successfully, then the final step would be talk to the WSUS server, pull down all the security and critical updates, push it down to the machine, it installs it. Once everything is successfully installed, it restarts and then shuts down, and it's ready to be deployed. That's the way I like using MDT. I don't like doing reference image. I don't like golden images because I feel like it works great. It's amazing. You have one solid image that has everything inside of it, but that image becomes so huge, and especially if you don't have a strong pipeline to push it out within Pixie. A lot of you guys will use a flash drive or a hard drive, like a external hard drive, and plug in and boot. You're able to do that. Don't get me wrong, you're able to do that. I just don't like that approach. And also maintaining the golden image, it's just a pain in the butt. To me, it's a pain in the butt. But that's it, guys. I'm gonna check. There's a lot of you guys. There's a couple of you guys there. For those that are there watching me, thank you so much. Let's see if I could read a couple of you guys. It says, do you prefer to deploy out of the box image and apply the customizations? Yep. Carlos Martinez, I think that's how you say your name. Yeah, like I said before, that is the way I like pushing out my images within. For my 9 to 5, I like to push it with my SCCM server. I like to push out the Windows 10 image, plain, right? And then during the process, it installs all the applications depending on the machine. Like the way that I have my task sequence is like it comes up. Couple questions pop up. Is this machine for marketing? Blah, blah, blah. Is it basic? You pick what you want. And then from there, it will deploy the certain applications for the finance or for the marketing. It pushes out all the fonts, all the branding, all the wallpaper, all that stuff, print drivers. And yeah, but the golden image, I don't like that. I like all that stuff happening during the deployment time. Okay. We have Bernardo, have you heard of OS Builder? I've heard of it a while back, but I've never actually done any hardcore research on it. I might have to see if I could do more research. Is it something that you want me to follow up with? Because I'm down for learning something new and creating something for you guys and then pushing it out. So I might have to look at OS Builder. I might have to take some notes on that. Okay, so we have, can you please capture or deploy Win 7 x64 with the latest? Yes, you could. You are able to. So no matter what ADK version you have or what MDT build you have, you are still able to capture Windows 7 images. It's still, I think it's, I don't think, it is backwards compatible because at my 9 to 5 job, I have 8450 and I'm able to push out Windows 7 and Windows 10 machines, Windows images, Windows 7 and Windows 10 images to our Dell machines, right? I'm also able to push out Windows 2008, 2012, and 2016 images with my MDT. So as long as you keep your MDT and your ADK stuff up to date, you're able to go backwards compatible. Okay, you shouldn't have any problems. Okay. Okay, so Carlos Martinez says, how are you handling Microsoft Edge icon? And welcome to welcome page in the Windows 10 1809. Okay, so my Windows 10 image that I push out is not the standardized Windows 10 that a lot of people are using. I like to use the LTSB version of Windows 10, which is it's like a stripped down Windows 10 image. I mean, the machine doesn't have any. It doesn't have the Xbox app. It doesn't even have Microsoft Edge. It doesn't have Windows Store. It doesn't have all that crap that a lot of us get. It doesn't have Candy Crush. The Windows, the start menu is so condensed. It's just awesome. So the version that I'm using right now is Windows 10 1809. I think it's LTSB, but I think they changed LTSB to something else. But it's the version that it is stripped down from all that craziness that us IT people don't want to deal with. So that is the version that I'm deploying right now in my 9-to-5 job, and I'm loving it. It is super simple. It is quick. It is snappy. I don't have like freaking Candy Crush being installed. I don't have none of that stuff. I just have the basics. Internet Explorer, and it doesn't even have the camera app. And Cortana is super limited. I think it's automatically disabled for me on the image. So it's a lot of stuff that I love. I love this image. The only problem is just the time frame of how often Microsoft updates these ISOs. It takes a little longer for these ISOs to be upgraded. That's the only problem. So when Microsoft is pushing out, like, for example, like version 2020, just for example, right? They're pushing out 2020. I'm still stuck on 1809 until they build that 2020 for me, which is customized and stripped down from all that crap that a lot of people are getting within their image. Welcome to the family. Thank you for joining. Again, this live stream was not advertised at all. I normally advertise my live streams for you guys, but tonight I just felt like going live. And this PowerPoint was like 300 something slides. I didn't feel like doing offline and doing a lot of editing. But hopefully at the end of the live stream, I will provide the PowerPoint slide for you guys. It is like 229 slides. Holy moly. I'm also going to provide this folder right here with all the goodies for you guys. It will provide the PowerPoint. It will provide, excuse me. I got to clean it up though. The only thing I'm going to give you guys is this right here is basically the screenshots for the PowerPoint, but I will zip this stuff up and provide a link at the comment section for you guys, so you guys can click on it, download everything, and have everything with you. And you guys are always able to come back inside the video and follow along, take notes, and all that good stuff. So I will provide this stuff. Now, a lot of you might get mad at me, and I'm going to tell you guys off the bat, sometimes I will forget because it's super late. It's already 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm super tired, so I'm definitely not going to put the link up right now. And tomorrow I'm going to be extremely busy doing other things, and it might not show up. It might show up, it might not show up. So it will take me some time. But if I don't do it right away, I would say by Monday, if it's not there, start harassing me at the comment sections. Like, hey, Bernardo, what the hell are the files? We need the files. We need the PowerPoint. Just leave comments there, and I will get a notification and get to it and push it out to you guys as soon as possible. All right, guys. So, okay, can you please answer my second question? And are you planning to more videos on VMware VDI? What is your second question? How can you perform auto updates and light touch images to WDS? Is there a script? Well, there are scripts out there in the Google world. I personally don't like pushing out images within WDS. I think it's pretty, for me, it's kind of choppy. WDS works extremely well if you are using, if you're using a utility that kind of, uses WDS like MDT or SCCM. But using WDS by itself, there are scripts out there. I haven't, I don't have any videos out as of yet dealing with WDS. I could try to create a video for you guys to show you how to deploy with WDS by itself, but you still need a way to capture the image. You need a way to capture an image to import it inside WDS to push it out. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to use a utility like MDT to capture the image and then you're going to import it inside WDS for WDS to push it out, why not continue using MDT to do all the work for you and customize it? It just, that's weird. But again, I could add that to my to-do list. I just never approached it before. And then for your second question, for VMware VDI, I would love to approach that stuff in the future. It's really hard for me to actually create VMware environments because I'm extremely limited to the resources that I have. Right now, I'm super happy that Lenovo hooked me up with a TD340 server. I've been using that for almost all the videos that I've been doing for the server room and for my offline videos. But that's only one server, and it's extremely limited to the resources. So I just don't have the resources as of yet, guys. So I would love to push out a lot more for you guys on all the kind of topics that you guys request, but I'm a one-man show, plus I just don't have that kind of funds to have like multiple servers on the line. I would love to like show you guys how to cluster stuff and build this and build that if I had all the servers in the world, but I just don't have that. So other than that, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. I know it was not advertised for those that have joined and are just chatting away and leaving questions and all that stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I catch you guys on the next one. Now, I always forget how to end this stuff. All right, wait a minute. All right, is it off? No, seriously, is it off? Is it off now? No, I'm just joking with you guys. Catch you guys on. What? Is it off now? No, seriously. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Peace out.